Everyone loves earning credit card rewards points, frequent flyer miles, or cash back. And since for most people rent is their single largest expense, it just makes sense to try to pay your rent with a credit card so you can rack up those sweet points. But that was easier said than done since landlords typically don't accept credit cards. Sure, you could use third-party services like Plastic, but their nearly 3% fee made it difficult for this method to ever be profitable. But there is a brand new credit card hitting the market, one specifically designed for renters, and this card will let you pay your rent to any landlord in the nation with absolutely no fees, all while racking up those delicious credit card rewards points. Now, I'm a huge credit card fanatic, and with so many different credit cards on the market, it's hard for me to get excited about new cards. But for a lot of people, this card is going to be hands down the best card they can get. It's going to give you free stuff, improve your credit score, and likely allow you to earn more credit card points than your current credit cards. Hi everyone, my name is Ben, and this channel is dedicated to all things personal finance, helping you earn more, spend less, and invest the difference. Now today we're going to be talking about a brand new credit card from a company called Bilt. Now, Bilt has a large number of corporate partners in the apartment complex world. So if you live in one of those mega apartment complexes owned by one of their affiliates, then you will be able to apply for this credit card immediately. And if you're not, you'll have to currently settle with being added to their wait list. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to cycle through all of the applicants that are signing up for this wait list, but I think this is going to be well worth the wait. Now, even though this card is centered around being able to pay your rent with the card, it is otherwise a fully functioning MasterCard, meaning that you can use this card to buy other things like gas or groceries, etc., as it's usable anywhere in the world where MasterCard is accepted. Furthermore, there are no annual fees or anything like that, and your points don't expire. Additionally, this card does come with a nice set of free credits, which is pretty impressive considering it's a no annual fee card. It's one of the few times where something truly is free, where you're getting something for nothing. Currently, they're advertising at $60 per year in Lyft credits and up to $120 per year in DoorDash credits. So if you're somebody that already uses those companies, then this is basically just free stuff. Now, I wasn't able to find any specific details on these credits, but based on how other credit cards operate with similar benefits, I would assume that translates into a $5 Lyft credit and a $10 DoorDash credit per calendar month. In addition, the card offers other things like concierge service, provides up to $1,000 in purchase protection if an item is lost or stolen within 90 days, and up to $1,000 per year if your phone is lost or damaged. Now, on to the good stuff, which is paying your rent and earning points with a credit card. So like I said, any renter can take advantage of this card. Your landlord doesn't need to opt into the program or be an affiliate partner with Bilt or anything like that. If you live in an apartment complex that is already partnered with Bilt, that's great. You can just provide your card number to them and they will bill the card with no fees attached. Otherwise, if your landlord doesn't accept credit cards, you can still use it. In this case, Bilt will simply charge your credit card and physically mail a check to your landlord at no cost to you. In addition to earning points for paying your rent, you can also earn bonus points for things like new leases, lease renewals, and more. And you can use your points for a variety of things, such as transferring your points on a one-to-one basis to a wide variety of airline frequent flyer mile programs or hotel programs. You can also spend your points to help furnish your apartment with their home decor and apparel affiliates, as well as my personal favorite, applying your points towards your next month's rent payment, or even saving your points and putting them towards the down payment of actually buying a house at some point in the future. That's pretty freaking cool if you ask me. Now, I didn't see an option to redeem points for cash, but realistically, redeeming points for future rent payments is pretty much just as good as redeeming for cash. So just how many points can you earn with this card? Well, this card has a tiered reward system, and while I'm generally not a fan of complicated reward structures like this, the end result of this particular reward structure is actually pretty fantastic for a lot of renters, which makes me not mind the complexity near as much. So your Bilt credit card has 5 different earning tiers, and your tier resets itself each and every month, which, like I said, I'm not a fan of, but I think it's worth it for a lot of people. But to move into the higher rewards tiers is a function of how much you spend on the credit card besides what you spent on rent. So spending on things like gas, groceries, clothes, etc. So if you don't use this card at all, except for using it to pay your rent, you earn a flat 250 points regardless of how much your rent payment was. And since it looks like the rewards points are generally worth about 1 cent per point, that means 250 points is worth roughly $2.50. Not exactly super exciting. But I think most people will be able to spend between $250 and $1,000 per month on their credit card, which puts them into either the blue or the silver tier. And if we make some assumptions, and if we assume that your monthly rent is $1,500 a month, then in the blue tier at a rate of 1 point per $2 in rent, that would equate to 750 points, as well as having earned 250 more points for having spent $250 in generic spending for a grand total of 1,000 points for the month. 1,000 points is valued at $10 worth of rewards, which isn't bad considering if instead you had just spent the $250 worth of miscellaneous spending on something like the Citi Double Cash card with its flat 2% cash back, that would only be $5 worth of rewards. So in this case, you effectively got a 4% cash back rate. Pretty amazing. Now, if you are in the silver category, and once again, we assume your rent is $1,500 a month, that means you would earn 1,500 points for the rent portion and another 1,000 points for the non-rent miscellaneous spending for a grand total of 2,500 points for the month, worth $25. And once again, if we had just spent the $1,000 miscellaneous spending on the Double Cash card, that would only be worth $20 worth of cashback rewards. So once again, we're winning. Plus, like I said, this card gives you the other perks like free Lyft and DoorDash credits, while the Citi Double Cash card doesn't do anything. Plus, these rewards are pretty fantastic considering it generally takes a credit score in the mid-700s to be approved for a Citi Double Cash card. And while they don't list any details on the credit score requirements to be approved for this Bilt card, if they are specifically targeting renters with this card, then I would assume their score requirements to be approved for the card would be relatively modest. And while they do have gold and platinum tiers, it's unlikely that the majority of renters will ever spend that much in non-rent spend to ever qualify for those tiers. And while it's unlikely to be a problem for many people, there is a maximum earning potential of 4,000 points per month for the rent portion of the earnings. Now, when it comes to actually paying the balance on your card, the rent portion of the balance is due in full each and every month. And then the minimum statement balance is added on top of that. So hypothetically, if you had charged $1,000 worth of miscellaneous spending on the card, then maybe the minimum balance for that portion of the debt might be, let's just say, $35 a month. But you also charged your $1,500 in rent to the card, in which case the minimum payment is the sum of those two items. In this case, the minimum monthly payment would be $1,535. Now, as with all credit cards, please use them responsibly and always, always, always pay the entire balance in full each and every month so you don't get charged any interest. It doesn't matter how good a credit card is, if you're getting charged those high interest rates by carrying forward a balance from month to month, then you need to stop and reevaluate your spending and stop using credit cards because they are destroying your finances. Another great thing about the card is that Bilt automatically reports your on-time payments to the credit bureaus, and that can boost your overall credit score. Generally, since most landlords don't report on-time payments to the credit bureaus, you're not improving your credit by paying on time. Now, obviously, being late with your payments gets reported, which can hurt your score, but being on time isn't reported, which would otherwise help your score. A recent TransUnion report estimated that a person's credit score could improve by as much as 26 points just by reporting the rent payments to the credit bureaus, which this card is going to do for you automatically. But one thing that is worth noting is that if you're putting your rent on this card, then it will obviously be a relatively large charge and quickly eat up the card's available spending limit, whatever that happens to be for this card, as well as significantly increase the overall credit utilization rate on the card, which could negatively impact your credit score. Your overall credit utilization rate makes up a whopping 30% of your total credit score, so this is potentially a pretty big deal. But the good news is you can opt into what they call the Bilt Protect program, which means that when you pay your rent with the credit card, they will automatically treat that payment as if it were a debit card and automatically pull that amount of funds out of your bank account to cover the rent payment. This way you don't have to worry about hitting the spending limit on your card or things like credit utilization rate or anything like that, as these funds are automatically taken from your bank account to immediately pay the rent charge. But you still earn those sweet credit card reward points in the process. So to sum it up, you get $180 per year in free Lyft and DoorDash credits, cell phone protection, and some pretty amazing overall rewards at either the blue or the silver tier rewards level. Then you get a nice credit boost by having your rent payments reported to the credit bureaus, all of this for a no annual fee credit card. Sure, you might be able to get more rewards if you had a dozen different credit cards and used one card for gas and a different card for groceries, etc. to maximize your points. But if you're like most people and just want to keep things simple and just have one credit card, then this is likely going to be the one card that you want in your wallet. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you all again next time. Thanks.